so I had to regrettably start this video over again because I got to yapping. But today we're here to talk about Alicia Lafayette and why she's the most embarrassing villain that the Shy has produced up until this point. We don't really got too many villains in this series. We got Q from early Shy days. We got Duda, who I believe is the best villain that this series has produced so far. He's gonna get a video one day for sure, believe that. And now we have Alicia, who I feel like is the most embarrassing one of the bunch. Now, some of y'all might already know why I feel like she's the most embarrassing. Some of y'all might be asking, how is she that? That's impossible. She was a great villain. I don't know who would be saying all that, but I'm going to tell you right now why I believe she's the most embarrassing of them three. Y'all stick around if y'all want to hear my reasoning, and while y'all are doing so, I'll be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. And let's talk about why Alicia Lafayette is the most embarrassing villain the Shy has seen so far. And yes, I'm pronouncing it Alicia. If you don't like it, stick around anyway, bro. You know who I'm talking about. She's literally right here. Quick context on Alicia's character before I go in. You know, she's the sister of Q, ex-wife of Alonzo, and the mother of Rob. She was introduced in season 6 where Rob and Tiff first decide they wanted to disassociate with Duda altogether. Rob tells Tiff that his mom could fund a weed operation. We get introduced to Alicia when Tiff urges Rob to go ahead and talk to his mom so that she can get the funds to do that. And in this initial conversation between Rob and Alicia, we can tell a couple things about her character. She's someone who, similar to Duda, provides incentives for people to do work for her, telling Rob she'll invest in him and Tiff's weed business if he's able to bring her who killed Q. See, she's very demanding with the way she moves with a lot of characters on the show. We see it with Rob, we see it with Shad when she tries to have him wear her ex-husband's clothing. We also see it a lot with Tiff in this past season. She tries to interject herself in Tiff's relationships and also what she's doing with her baby. We also know she's very well connected in this series too. She has somebody literally spying on Duda unbeknownst to him after Rob confirms to her that he believes that it was Duda who took out Q. These are all very good qualities for a villain to have. So you might be asking, where does the embarrassing part come in? I'm about to get to that right now, but first I want to start off with this quote that Rob tells Tiff very early on in season 6 when he first starts introducing her to his mom. Around the time that she first starts investing into their weed business. He tells Tiff, and I quote, Alicia makes Duda look like a saint. Now, Rob himself, I think he's only been around since season 5 at this point. I don't think he was even in season 4. So he might not know Duda's bag like that to be saying something as audacious as what just came out of his mouth. When I look back on that quote, I really gotta think, like, this man is clearly biased saying this. This is his mother we talking about. If he don't gas her up, who will? But at this point in the series, when I'm hearing Rob say this, I'm like, okay, damn, make Duda look like a saint? Knowing Duda's resume, I'm like, oh, she gotta be hard body. Because Duda will literally kill you for chewing too loud. So she must have a chamber under her house or something where she's housing a bunch of niggas. She gotta be next level evil for you to say something as crazy as she makes Duda look like a saint. As we go through her highlight tape, we will see that he was clearly gassing his mom up. After Rob confirms to Alicia that Duda was the one to take out Q and him and Emmett take their stab at trying to take out Duda themselves and fail miserably, Alicia's like, all right, I can't let a man do a woman's job. I gotta step in here. See her face to Duda for the first time sometime in the second half of season 6. They able to have a little conversation. Duda gets a little handsy, but then Shad comes in with the gun to his head. Talk about some, don't put your hands on my woman like that. Doing his best Will Smith impression. I'm crying. And instead of killing Duda here, for some reason, they let him off the hook. I'm not even remembering why they did this. I can understand why Shad didn't kill Duda. I mean, the nigga not trying to go back to jail. But literally, you got all the confirmation in the world that Duda was the one who took out Q. And you supposed to be the one that makes Duda look like a saint, not Shad. So where's your piece? Why are you not upping it on Duda? Very questionable activity from this villain, but maybe she just didn't have enough evidence to support that Duda actually took out Q. Okay, cool. The next time she approaches Duda at the season finale of season 6, her ex-husband is dead at this point. So now not only was her brother slain by Duda, her ex-husband was killed by Zay on Duda's command. All this is unbeknownst to her, but let's keep it a stack. Who else in the Shy is making moves like this if it's not Duda? I'll give you a pass for not taking him out when Shad had him dead to rights, but after what happened to your ex-husband, you gotta take Duda out here and walk out like nothing happened or your villain status is in question. From what I remember, she did pull the pole on Duda. She was about to spray on that man, but she got caught up in talking, bragging about how she was about to do him dirty. And in that span of time she was talking, Nuck came in and stole her kill. It was so bad, I think some of Duda's brains literally blew up in her face after Nuck shot him. Now that to me is very embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. You had this man dead to rights. This man that you know for a fact took out your brother and was at the very least associated with your ex-husband's death. You know, the husband that you wanted Shad to cosplay so bad for some reason. And for a second time this season, you have the man dead to rights. You ready to solidify your villain status right here and now. And you let Nuck of all people steal that from you. Mind you, the reason Nuck killed Duda was for some shit that happened in the episode before he killed Duda. At this point, you 0 for 2 on kills that you should have did. Not only is your villain status in question, but now I'm constantly going back to that quote that Rob had said about you earlier on in the season. But surely after the one who gassed you up the most gets taken out, Being that that was your son, you're gonna spin back crazy on whoever did him dirty, right? Yeah, no. Bro, the way she pulled up on Nuck in that first episode of season 7 with the quickness, I was like, oh, she about to get Nuck up out of here already? Yeah, she's definitely the demon that Rob was gassing her up to be for sure. Mind you, Nuck left this man Rob on her doorstep literally. And she should have learned her lesson from what happened with Duda. It's no time to talk when you feel like someone's responsible for your family's demise. Because she literally spins back on Nuck the same night he took out Rob, the same night that Nuck took out Duda. There should be no thinking, no talking, no nothing. Just pulling up on Nuck, defenseless ass, and pulling the trigger on him. You have him dead to rights like you did Duda multiple times last season. But instead, she lets Nuck talk. And when Nuck talks, he says that Zay was the one to take out Rob. And to my surprise, she believes him. I mean, you even have Shad in the car talking about some, you believe what he said? You're gonna take this man's word for it? For what? What has Nuck ever done to you to show you that he's trustworthy in any capacity? He was working with Duda, he was his right-hand man. He took out Duda. This nigga is clearly somebody who cannot be trusted, yet for some reason you're taking his word for it. After this, she ends up going to kill Zay. But to be fair, she did inadvertently end up avenging her ex-husband by taking out Zay. So slight W, I guess, but it was inadvertent, so I can't give her a full W. She don't even know that he was the one to take out her ex-husband. So she's just going off of what Nuck said, believing that he was the one to take out Rob. But later on, we see that she didn't even believe that through a conversation she has with Tiff. So, okay, you don't believe what Nuck told you about Zay being the one to take out Rob. I mean, what other reason would Nuck have to lie to you unless he was the one to take out Rob the whole time? So now with this information, surely you know Nuck is the one to take out Rob, right? I mean, you've seen him take out Duda, so he's clearly a killer. And there's nobody else that you should believe has anything to do with his death. Why? Because you know Rob was tied with Duda. That's the whole reason he came to you to begin with, to be emancipated from Duda. On top of that, Rob told you that Duda was the one to take out Q. So you should know that whoever took out Rob probably has some ties to the mob as well. But we see her get tripped up by somebody else again in this season, being Bakari. Bakari gets stopped by Toussaint this season, who obviously wants to see Reg arrested to free her son. So rather than questioning him on who he believes took out Rob, she immediately throws in Reg's name, essentially setting up what he tells Alicia later on in the episode, that he got stopped by a cop who believes Reg was involved in Rob's death. Reg, who she knows from nowhere. Reg, who was gone since season 2. But for some reason, she believes Bakari on this. Mind you, doesn't ask him, why would this detective stop you? Why would she believe you're associated with any of this? No, instead, she takes the address of Reg, who she doesn't know from anywhere, pulls up to his crib with Shad, and just shoots indiscriminately, and none of the bullets even touch Reg. Let him go in Jamal's back. So now, not only are you responsible for somebody going to the hospital who wasn't associated with Rob's death at all, not only do you now have Reg on your radar as well, who ends up robbing you later on in this season, but you also got played by Nuck and Bakari before we even got to the midway part of the season. That shit is embarrassing if nothing else. I don't want to hear that she's still grieving over the loss of Rob when you're able to take lives like these. Especially when you have the audacity to tell the pastor some episodes back that you're trying to eliminate these people from the streets, these killers. When the whole time you're being the biggest hypocrite doing the killing yourself. And not even killing the right niggas. Somehow, some way it gets worse though, y'all. Toussaint pulls up on Alicia later on in the season and lets her know that she knows for a fact that Bakari was involved in Rob's death to some capacity. Because obviously his DNA was at the scene after he threw up. So after hearing this, you should already know you cannot trust anything that comes out of Bakari's mouth. Because he never gave you the full story of his involvement in Rob's death. But when Bakari approaches her later on in the season after Alicia pulls his scholarship, surely there's no way he leaves that house telling her the same story about Reg being the one to take out Rob, right? Especially knowing that she can't trust nothing that comes out of his mouth after what Toussaint already confirmed to her, right? And basically putting 2 and 2 together that Nuck is actually the one that took out Rob, right? Well, technically she knew that Bakari was bullshitting her in this instance. It's just the fact that she took as long as she did to act on this new knowledge of knowing that Nuck was for sure, without question, the one to take Rob out. She has a whole 2 episodes to take this man Nuck out, but instead, for some reason, she's trying to prioritize Reg, trying to get in good with his girlfriend, be a mentor to her, trying to use this new relationship to her advantage. That ends up blowing up in her face terribly because yes, she's able to get the address of the house that Reg is robbing that night to give to Toussaint in order to get an address for Nuck potentially. Not only does Toussaint not provide Alicia with any information on Nuck's whereabouts, the girl you thought you was mentoring just turned her back on you completely. Why? Because you know her from nowhere. Whole time Shorty couldn't be trusted and looking out for her own life. She threw this whole shit back on you. So now as if you didn't have to worry about Reg earlier on in the season when you shot up at his crib, you somehow ended up making shit worse when all you have to do is just focus on Nuck. And the show just does her character in the most disrespectful way. Because not only does Reg pull up and rob her entire spot while being distracted by the girl that she was supposed to be mentoring, Not only is he able to get away with this, but shortly after this happens, Alicia gets run up on by Rosalind of all characters. Rosalind, who we ain't seen since the first episode of this season, just kills her in her own home. I'm talking riddles her with 4 bullets. And of all the characters who could have been witness to this body, it would be Nuck to be the first to see her lifeless body. I don't know how else to slice it, but that's literally the definition of a wasted character. Alicia did all this talk and had all this gas from her son, and literally nothing to show for it. Shit is even worse when you consider the writers didn't even care about how she went out. Because if they did, she would have went out in a much greater blaze of glory than this. But y'all let me know in the comments, what do y'all think of the great villain that is Alicia Lafayette?